Welcome, Ed. Thanks for joining us on the podcast today.
Thanks for having me, Hans. Glad to be here.
I met you about a year ago and saw a presentation on the world of work and was very excited about it as an initiative that really brings some initial career development, career exploration down to the elementary school level in a really wonderfully organized fashion. So we're going to be digging into understanding how that all works. So why don't you start by just giving us the big picture and your elevator pitch, a minute or two, about what actually the program is.
Sure. So thank you again for inviting me to share with you about our work. And essentially, our work is really, it's a career development framework, and it's grounded in career theory. And it's really to help teachers, help students begin to develop a vision of their future possible selves. So we've created the tools and processes to be able to integrate career development starting in the early grades, starting in kindergarten, and make it possible for teachers and students and parents to start to see the possible future for their children. So it's an honor and pleasure to be able to do this work. I consider it calling for myself. And it's just an honor to work in the Cajon Valley Union School District.
What kind of time does it take in the school day? How is it integrated into the children's school day?
That's a great question. And really, it's much of it is left to the teachers to be able to determine how they want to integrate the work into their classrooms. There's some fundamental elements that we need to start with first. So I've seen everything from 15 minutes a day to maybe once a week to multiple times across a month or a semester. So it really just depends on the teacher, it depends on the grade level, and it depends also on the aptitude of the teacher to be able to deploy it effectively in the classroom.
Now, I've watched some videos of students until you actually see the kids interacting with the teacher and using some terminology that we often think is beyond that of an elementary school child. It's hard to imagine exactly how much they can get a handle on at that young age.
Yeah, it always seems that it's the adults that get in the way of some of the student learning, because the students are very capable and highly interested in understanding these aspects of who they are and developing these elements of their own identity. Mm-hmm. So when you see a teacher take the time to be able to introduce students, even at the early ages, to this body of knowledge, it's quite surprising to see how far students can go and how much they learn and how excited they get about it.
And one thing I really appreciate about some of the messaging I heard in your program is that we're not asking kids to make a career decision. We're really equipping them with tools for exploration. Do you have children that are actually learning about specific careers, or and how does that work?
Yeah, well, there's two core frameworks to our work. One is called the Mission of Me, and it's our career development framework. And through that process, students get to explore gain a level of self-awareness. They learn about their strengths, interests, and values. Mm-hmm. The idea is that would happen to every child, every grade, every year. They also get exposure to both career and academic opportunities. We call it the journey. And then we believe that every child should be able to tell their story. And they should be able to tell it through their strengths, interests, and values, and based on the exposure they've had to both career and academic opportunities. And the way that we introduce students then to careers is through our integration framework. And there's 4 levels. We want students to explore careers. Second, we want them to simulate careers and have as-if experiences, as authentic as possible, the better. Level 3 is a meet-a-pro, so they're going to meet professionals either in person or virtually or digitally, like we're doing. And then they're going to be able to have a demonstration of learning or an internship at the end.
Are you trying to bring positive career-connected experiences into your school, college, or adult education program? Do you want your students to see career connections in all their courses and school activities? Do you want to help all your teachers and staff play a part in building career connections? Then Career Smart Classrooms is the solution you're looking for. Career Smart Classrooms is a new suite of learning resources that help any educator easily bring career content and workplace skills into the classroom. The system includes career-focused kits that link careers to all courses and extracurriculars, career exploration activity plans, lesson plans to develop workplace skills for students, and think tanks, professional learning activities for teachers to discuss career-related issues. We also provide customized workshops for your staff and webinars where users can share tips and innovations with each other. Remember, when students participate in career-connected learning, they get more engaged in school. To find out more, visit careersmartclassrooms.com. You can download a free sample pack of materials and also sign up for a live webinar to learn more about the system.
Regardless, we want them to have a career exposure in each of the RIASEC theme areas. Okay. And a simple example of the way we do it might be looking at career cards that we've created. And here's a critical care nurse. And much of this information comes from the ONET, but we'll talk about Lexile reading level, the types of skills, the RIASEC themes that are associated. And then on the back, we might talk about what are the strengths of this that this person might need in order to be successful. What might their interests look like? How about their workplace values? And then we have a link directly to the ONET. This is a simple exploration level 1 experience. And from here, ideally, we would actually participate in a simulation, a critical care nurse simulation. And this can happen in first grade where students are working with, the tools that a nurse might use, whether it's Band-Aids or gauze pads or whatever, and actually simulating them, right? And then imagine then having a critical nurse come into the classroom, either in person or virtually, and have a conversation about what the students are learning. What's so powerful is once students have had the level 1 and level 2, they've built a language and understanding of what that role is. So the questions that they ask the pro is at such a higher level than if they come in cold.
Tell me about community partners. What role are your community partners and organizations playing with this?
Well, we were just talking this week to our city manager about our new middle school at the K-8. I was just speaking about that next year we'll have our freshmen, but the city manager gets it. He's like, I have probably 4 or 5 projects I would love to have your students work on now as middle schoolers. And once they become high schoolers, I want them working on city projects around planning, big issues like homelessness, multicultural issues, social unrest that's happening. We want your students' views on that. So there's a public servant that's stepping right up. We're going to have interns in our own district starting next year. But great companies like Illumina are stepping up. It's a genomics company here in San Diego. Next month, they're taking over the entire month of October, and they have recruited bilingual speakers to provide virtual Meet-a-Pro sessions to our students in Spanish. And they're going to be teaching about genomics, the management of the company, recruiting, HR. They're going to show all the facets of the world of work. So our community is getting it. They're seeing the importance and value of this work. And we couldn't be more thankful to all of our community partners who are stepping up.
This podcast is really dedicated to school leaders who are trying to find best practices and what's working. So could you just tell me some of the personal leadership lessons that you've learned along the way that you think are valuable for school leaders?
No matter what business you're in, it's a human business. Mm-hmm. So asking yourself and reflecting on the Q12 questions, for example, the 12 questions, most research that align to engagement of our workers, whether it's my opinion seems to count, or someone cares about me, someone at work cares about me, someone's had a conversation with me about my personal development. I have the tools and equipment to do my work best. It's these types of questions that we need to be having conversations with our people about and asking them, how are you doing? Having these regular check-ins, to me, that's one of the biggest parts of this work. And it goes right back to our value statement, which is developing happy kids and healthy relationships on a path to gainful employment. If we can't do that for the adults, how do we expect to do that for the young people?
Hi, I'm Hans Meter. Thanks so much for watching this video cast of the Power of Career-Connected Learning. You can check out the full podcast at any of the major podcast feeds, and you can also get the show notes at our website, nc3t.com/podcast. When you're at the website, check out our keynotes and professional learning workshops, our Pathways Design Services, the Career Smart Classroom system, and our best-in-class work-based learning management platform, Seamless WBL. And to make sure you don't miss any important updates from us, subscribe to our e-newsletter at nc3t.com. And as always, let's keep our eyes on the goal, helping every young person pursue a vibrant life and a meaningful career through the power of career-connected learning. Thanks.